Today's adventure brings us to Upper Canada Village. Well, it's quite gorgeous over here. Lots of gorgeous flowers and stuff. These geese, you're pooping everywhere. Something tells me I'm gonna have to avoid some geese dung today, aren't I? Aren't I? Gordon, who I've not seen in a long time.
Long time.
Mr. Gordon, look at that beard. Look at that beard right there. Jeez, I gotta get this going, don't I? I don't know if they,
bandit of some kind.
did they have masks for no reason in 18-dickety-2? 18-dickety-2, Gordon.
I don't know, they got whiskers.
If they got whiskers in there, yeah, those are carp.
Yeah, carp do that stupid thing with their mouths.
So check this out. In 18-diggity-2, as you like to put it, these fish were not here. They got introduced to the continent decades after this. They're not native to North America.
Really?
Yeah. And these fish, because they're an invasive species, are not regulated.
You can spearfish them.
Yeah, we can do whatever we want. I could bag all these fish today and eat them all this evening.
What the hell are you fish doing here if you weren't here in 18-dickety-2? Hello.
Oh, I thought you said you dropped your camera.
Oh no.
Did you drop your camera in there?
Not yet.
Oh, you want to. You want to drop it down there and see what's going on in there.
I don't want to drop it down there, or I'll be jumping in after it.
You'd probably eat it.
And you'll have to jump in and save me.
Oh, I don't. Not with this big thing on.
Hello, beautiful horses. Oh. Are you finished? Oh my. Smells like you were taking care of some business. How you doing today? Oh, you're a noisy one. Oh, look at you two lovebirds. Look at you two lovebirds. Oh, hey, birdie. We may have to take over this village, Gordon.
Not such a bad idea. I am fascinated by this wagon.
I don't know what it is about artifacts like this that get me, but it does. I think it's just because we're very old school gents.
To a certain degree, too, yeah.
Anybody home? Huh. Nada. Yeah, I wouldn't mind dwelling in this one either. I think someone already is. Got your crops out here. Go wrong there. Turned out to be a pretty nice day, actually. We were hoping the rain would hold off. Look at all that. Got some lettuce. Ooh, spinach. Everything over there. Tomatoes. Ooh. Someone needs to mow the lawn, though. Look at that. That's the bottom of the chimney. Huh. Pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. No water flowing downward. Over to the church. It's a graveyard down here. Nice graveyard. This is where they went to do their praying. It's the Christ Church. Many of the early settlers of this area were members of the Church of England, which established a parish in Cornwall in 1784. We're very close to Cornwall. Pretty cool looking church. Right next to the church would be the pastor's home. Many of the loyalist settlers of Dundas County were German Lutherans from the Mohawk River Valley in central New York State, congregation of St. John's Evangelical. Evangelical Lutheran Church in Riverside built a home for their pastor, William Schartz. We'll have to see if the pastor's home. Don't see anybody. Come around here, see if he's at home today. Mr. Pastor, I need to get into the church. Whole garden, look at that. Some giant pumpkins in there. Pastor better come home soon or I'm gonna be taking some of them pumpkins. Look at that. Hey, watching, there's pumpkins here at pumpkins and squash, gourds. Yeah. Hey, dog. Hey, dog.
Wear them on the same feet and they'll mold onto your feet, or you can move them from foot to foot and save money on the repairs.
Jack Flash jumped over this
It
candlestick.
could last up.
Over here brings us to the tin shop. Little doggy friend just sitting over by the tin shop. Wow. Wow, it's really gorgeous back here. Giving you a look inside the tin shop. That's the Tin Man.
I am.
You are the Tin Man. What he does. Fashions. So if you're in the market for some tin, you gotta go to the tin shop. Where'd he go? Can hear him walking around upstairs. He's been hard at work in here. This is what it's like in 1862. That's 1862. If you didn't get that. Gotta put some of those gorgeous horses out here in this pasture. And down back by the church now. Time to head to the other part of town. See what else we can find. I do enjoy that church. It's a nice church. It's one of those old Wild West wagons here.
Yeah, covered wagon. Bench seating. Everything here is period correct, obviously. Stuff leather seat.
Did they have that nice leather seating in the 1860s?
I don't think that's an exact replica.
Hello? Like a tornado blew through here. Hello? Frank? Hello? Hello? Oh no. Tornado did blow through here. Took off the whole side of the wall. Oh man. Whoa. It's a telescope. This is much easier than taking Goose Deuce Field. Staying away from Goose Deuce Field. So I'll balance myself here on the tracks. As long as I don't drop the camera and it don't start raining, we'll be fine. Guess we best take this shot at the Loyalist American regiments. Right there, look at the size of this guy. Now that looks like Iron Man. Look at that, he's got his bayonet and an axe. Don't mess with this guy. These cool pumpkins. Fluffkins. Fluffy pumpkins. That's right. Halloween is a-comin'. I'm gonna purchase a couple of these. Jess mentioned they are famous for their raw candy. Upper Canada Village. Famous for raw candy. I'm gonna get a few of these suckers. Get a few of these suckers. Guess my diabetic arse don't need that, but there's quality Canadian maple syrup. Get the best of the best here in Upper Canada. Best of the best. Let me get some of this raw candy. Known for this. Wish they had some more fudge going on, but check the beaver tail place before I leave. Quality maple syrup. You get that right off his backside there. Clean him up. Clean him up. What a nice horse, helping out your buddy. Helping out your buddy there. Over here, we're looking at Cook's Tavern. Right here, dry goods, groceries. Looks pretty good.
General store and post office, a place for people to purchase all the items that couldn't be grown at home or couldn't be made. Dry goods mostly from all over the world. Toys for children if you could afford it, school supplies, fabrics and spices for the ladies and for the men, tools and hardware.
Oh, excellent.
Many people didn't have ready cash, so it was fairly common to buy on credit. Every family had a book and a ledger book, and credit would be extended to up to a year.
Oh, so they did have credit back then.
They could come in and settle up accounts.
Oh, excellent. That's cool. Who made that dress?
It would be made by myself in the 1860s.
You would have had to do that yourself. You couldn't go to a store and buy that.
No, not ready-made clothing. Ladies were looking after their clothes for their families, including their own best dresses, yes. Unless you were rich and could afford to have somebody else make it for you.
I see.
Is that
Excellent.
considered an everyday dress or a fancy dress?
Oh no, I'm receiving visitors today. This is my dress. Yes.
Post office here. Get their supplies.
Depending on how many you needed to, some maybe up to 10
Plates.
years even. Oh wow.
Groceries.
It is one of my favorite dresses. Actually, I like both of my best dresses. The general
That
store
old
and
clock.
post office would be where people purchased all the items that couldn't be grown at home or couldn't be made. Dry goods from all over the world. We have some toys for people who can afford it for their children. Otherwise, like I'm doing,
Arsenic for those women who don't like their husband.
It's the place they came to buy things you couldn't make yourself. The size of that rope. That's good advice. Good advice. Gotta keep a hold of my wallet. The bakery. Looks as if the bakery is closed for business. That's really unfortunate because generally you can come here and hey, it sounds like there's someone in there. There is. It's the baker. He's in there, but it's closed. Here you got one of those old school carriages. Everything's old school to me. I try to keep everything old school. Heading into the back part of the village. There's the baker. He's taking the day off. It's very unfortunate. Maybe over here we're gonna find that no good cheating blacksmith. I'll watch out for the cow horse ploppings, because those tend to be in quite a few places. But check it out. Everywhere you go, you'll see these signs. This one's kind of faded. Beware of pickpockets. He left his tools all out. All his tools out. All the tools of the trade. Where are you, you no good cheating blacksmith? I don't want to say that too loud in case he is around. Challenge me to a duel. The old mill over there in the distance. I'll make my way over there eventually. It's another place where they would come to pray. This wasn't the official church of the town, but would have had services here anyway. Maybe for a funeral or just a church service. Maybe there just isn't any steeple here. This lady in the distance here. It's crazy. We've gone back to the past. This building, which today is the cabinet maker's shop, originally stood on the farm property of Captain John Locks along the riverfront of Williamsburg Township. Williamsburg! Probably built in the 1850s. Its original use is unknown, but in 57 was moved eastwards a distance of 5K and modified to represent a cabinet maker's shop of the 1860s. The 1860s, there you go. Cabinet and chair maker. They needed cabinets, they needed chairs. And this is the shop in which they'd use to build them. Smells like history. Sign, sign, everywhere a sign. Oh, darn. Guess we're going this way. Buddy, there you are. How are you? I don't think nobody knows you're here except me. It's no worries. I'll keep it between us. You too, Whitey. I won't tell anybody your little fluffy self is back there. Couldn't live throughout the 1800s without a healthy dose of eggs. Probably one of the best things there was to eat back then. Long live breakfast. You wouldn't run out of food out here. Apples. Apple gardens. In their orchard. Where they did their printing. Printing office.
But the letters are, of course, different on a keyboard because you use two hands to type, and I only use one to set. So A, B, T, A, T, A, N, D, I, S, O, and this is Q, X, Z. The part that you're getting the left off and you use the letter.
Let's go check out the schoolhouse. So, if you were a youngster in those days, this is where you'd come to school. Have recess out here. play your game, kickball, whatever they did in the 1800s. And right here, you'd be able to come into the school. You come into school, that's it, there's the benches. It's the little teacher's desk. Teacher would smack you on the hand with a ruler right there. Then burn you on this stove. And kids would come out here for recess. Bringing us down now to Maple Road. Because over here, it's the Union Cheese Factory. That's the cheese factory. Not open for cheese. Mix that cheese together. Ah, really unfortunate. So you can usually come here, test some cheese. Small Working Cheese Factory represents the hundreds of rural cheese factories found throughout Ontario during the latter part of the 19th century. Don't really see much in here. Just the dressmaker's house. I already saw one of those ladies sporting one of them dresses. Ooh, that rain may start coming down. Hard to tell. Take a look at some more of the artifacts and stuff. And 9 people at once in here. This is just where they keep some bags of hay and Hey pal, eating some apples? Eating some apples? Don't get too close to my legs. Is that so, Mr. Pig? Is that so? Are you sure? You sure you want to come help me find my friend? Oh, okay. I could give you a little privacy if you insist. Want a little privacy? Oh, that's a good boy. That's a good boy. You enjoy them apples. Lots of stuff for you to eat here. Lots of stuff. These piggies are feasting on radishes. Look at all these radishes. Hey, pal. What is that? You eating some radish? You're a cute fella. Ain't letting anyone interrupt them. Those radishes. All right. Well, it's a little stinky over here. I'm gonna leave you chaps to it. How goes the job?
It's gotta go straight ahead.
There you go. Long days out here on the farm, or what?
Yeah, right from dawn till dusk.
What's the hardest part?
Well, I guess the bush work is the hardest. But we're still lucky because, you know, a man works from dawn till dusk, but a woman's work is never done.
I totally agree. Totally agree.
Totally agree.
Gotta chop all that wood, stay warm. I guess now that summer's tapering off, though, at least it's not too hot out here for you guys.
That's right. It's nice right now. I think there's a storm coming in.
Got a good breeze, yeah. There's a storm coming over the horizon. These dudes are hard at work. I gotta bring out a big old horsey. Wow, look at that.
These horses we're going to hook to that wagon, and we're going to feed some of the animals the hay that's on it.
You're gonna feed the horses some hay?
Yes.
Look at the size of that beautiful animal.
He's a nice horse, isn't he? He is
Beautiful.
a good horse.
Oh, that rain's coming in now.
Yes, it is.
You having a good day, fella? Having a good day? That's a
You give
yes.
it the nose up.
That's a yes. This plantation, size of this stuff, my goodness, grows right over the wall here. Oh my God, I think these things will suck you up whole. Holy cow. Trying to cover as much path here as I can before it downpours on me. Still gotta make my way over to the mill at some point. Ooh, dung beetle. Continuing down Maple Road, cross back to Queen Street. We're just going all over the place here on the farm. Sorry, in the village. This place is big. This is a big village. Look at the size of this apple tree. That's all apples. Apple tree here. Those giant apples. They probably get the apples right off these trees. Let's see who's home in this one. I don't know, but they had their lunch. There's their apple core. Didn't have to go far to get an apple. They're falling. Falling all around us. This is the house of the Laux. The Laux farmhouse. Wow, the Laux had a pretty spacious place. Spacious indeed. Can't go upstairs. Still take a look at that grand piano. Oh, there's the dog and the daughter right there. Very quaint living room. I'd kill to live in here. It smells just like the 1800s. Here's what the bedroom would have looked like. Oh, definitely enough space. No doubt there. So the families would have their dinners. Through the living room. This is what you would call a mansion in those days. Big old kitchen, dining room. Now wild. Out to the backyard now. Out to the backyard. Oh, would love a house like that. Onions here.
Yep, tiny little fire out the back. And they have like a little tin dish. And they put the shovel and they put them in and just toss them for a couple of minutes.
Yeah,
And
but that's because you have to. Like you have to.
Well, why really? Because we eat raw nuts. We shouldn't eat.
No, those
You,
are
you don't eat
cooked.
raw nuts.
They are cooked when you get them.
The
They
ones
are
that you
cooked.
buy at the store,
They're
they're
roasted.
cooked. Oh, they're roasted.
They can't sell you just a peanut out of the ground.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a toxin in those peanuts, and if you eat them, you will get extremely sick.
Oh, look at those sleeping pigs. They're sleeping head to toe. They're sleeping head to toe. Good piggies. This is actually the poultry house. Look at this. If you're able to educate me on what this was used for, let me know in the comments. It's a heck of a machine right there. The size of this chain. That is hefty. I love when everything's made out of wood. Check it out. How you doing, birdie? Just having a little chill on that car? You sure you can man that car yourself? Are you sure you can man it yourself, bird? That's where they park their ride. Kinds of farm animals and cows. Cows are everywhere. Look at the size of that one. Hey, buddy. Poor guy's got flies in his eyes. That's not gonna disrupt your meal, is it? No. Whew. Says, get off. Get off me, flies. Get out of my eyeballs. That's a good boy. Just tolerating the flies. Look at these poor cows. Get off me, flies. That is a big, big boy. Over here near these gigantic chains is a boat. There go the horses off that direction with the hay. Them horses bringing that hay. Close as we can get to that big boat. They do have boat rides often, but guess with COVID, trying to keep the boating to a minimum. And I guess better idea not to share food and stuff in the bakers, the people who are baking, or like the cheese factory. You just can't always do that. Probably safer not to in COVID. In the times of COVID. Cool, look at the size of that. Look at that carp. Humongous. He's huge. There's a lot of them in there. So, cutting off part 1. Be back for part 2, so enjoy. Part 1, like and subscribe. We got part 2 coming. That's all from here, and this is where we'll begin part 2 as well. So stay tuned for part 2. Donkeys. A friend of the hare, or the donkey. What do you guys think about the food situation going on here? All they got for you to eat is grass and hay. Oh, I smell you guys. Don't get your head stuck in there. Who's gonna come and help you out if you get your head stuck in there?